Better sign up now. I hear there's almost no space left.
So, I mean, we've been doing this for maybe, this is, I think, the third year. But I think, as I've been working with partners for people in the service provider community, people have kind of shied away from doing development, from doing hardcore custom development. I don't have people on my staff who are skilled up with that. I think the combination of the things that we've been talking about here in terms of crafting solutions and moving up into that business layer, combined with the fact that it's just so much easier to do that stuff, and whether it's Google's platform, whether it's Amazon or Salesforce.com, on the server side, and then scripting layers that we've added into Google Apps, it's getting easier and easier. And so if for people that are interested in kind of getting somebody on staff who's skilled up with that kind of stuff, Google I/O is a great opportunity to send somebody to kind of dig in.
That's a great point. That's a great point. So we also talked about being able to make it so that your clients that you have in the Google world, that the billing to those clients can be integrated directly through ConnectWise. So Google will actually pass down, and we'll be able to bill, you'll be able to bill your clients directly through ConnectWise. So that is something we've got to work on a little bit as well, and I know there's some agreements that we have to make on that. So these are exciting things that we're talking about doing with integration of ConnectWise and the Google world. And I think I got to tell you, so many times I hear partners telling me all the time, it's like, well, I want to be able to take the ConnectWise data and kind of do whatever I want out here on this website. So we've really expanded our APIs to allow them to do that. But what we're also doing is we're moving our entire application back into the browser. Some of our screens are browser-based. Some of our screens are WinForms-based. We've got a big push to move we call it back to the browser. That's what we call it, but so like back to the future, back to the browser at ConnectWise, and we're really excited about that. Anyway, cool things. I guess the other thing that we needed to talk about here is, hopefully the IT Nation ConnectWise partners are interested in finding out, how can I become a Google reseller? How do I get involved in this? So two things. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot on camera here to say, would you be willing to do a show or two more with us to sort of expose a little bit of your secret sauce, just as a way of letting the ConnectWise, the ConnectWise partners in the IT Nation, not to show all of it, but to just say, look, this is kind of how it goes, okay?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's in the approach. It's not in like the secret sauce and the tool. I mean, that's the whole point of it. Is the tools are easily available for anybody to figure out and implement.
So that's a yes.
That's absolutely
all right.
Yes.
It's a yes. You heard that. Okay. So here's the point. I think you heard a lot of great things today. Excellent commentary from Eric, and I appreciate your openness and your willingness to kind of share a little bit more of your success and how you've been successful with Google. And then, Jeff, if you could tell the ConnectWise partners, the IT Nation, how maybe they could become involved in this as well.
Yeah, very, very, very easily. So you go to a website called Google. It's google.com/apps/resellers. There's a simple form you can fill out, which gets us your information. We then reply to you with a link to a portal with a ton of, as you might imagine, sales and marketing and technical training content and so forth to get involved in the program. The actual enrollment process is a little bit unique. Basically, it involves, we're asking you as a partner to try this out, like bring this to a client and try it out.
Or use it yourself.
Or use it yourself. Certainly, and, talking to clients is one of the things you start to get sales objections. You start to work through and get better at that ability to kind of, how do we deal with this and how do we deal with that? So partners basically, bring this to a client, work through the sales aspect, lead gen if you're going to be finding new clients, sales aspect, and then the technical aspects of deployment. And that's essentially the qualification bar. Is do that. We have we mark that at 25 user count, so a small business or a couple of small businesses that add up to that. And then and what we found is that's had a tremendous impact on the quality of our partners. And so we have the set of partners that we brought on last year, tremendous. We were talking last night, and I was thinking I could not think of a single, I don't want to knock on wood here, but think of a single example of customer complaints that we've gotten through the reseller network.
That's kind of amazing
last
to me.
year.
Yeah. He's saying that he hasn't even had any complaints from end
complaints
customers.
that are warranted.
That are warranted.
Sometimes complain about, well, I wish you guys had this in the product or that in the product. I'm like, all right, well,
I wish
we
the
do that.
was
But in
out,
terms of complaints about the reseller quality, about reseller service, and I think it speaks to the kind of the kinds of people like Eric that we attract to the program.
Okay, so you're saying, if I could summarize that, you're saying, first of all, the URL again was?
Google.com/apps/resellers.
Google.com/apps/resellers.
With an S.
Plural, okay. And lots of stuff up there. And the reality is, I would say probably the simplest way is use it for yourself, and then you've got to go sell a 25 seats of it. And by the time you sell 25 seats of it, then you're in the program. Is that kind of how it works?
So following that, you let us know about that. And we have, while you're in that process, we're supporting you. There's community support. We've got people, partner manager people, but that's the thing.
But that's the idea.
Following that, you're in the program.
So in other words, learn it, prove it by getting 25 users on it, and then you're in.
That's it.
Okay. That's pretty simple.
And if I could just really affirm what Jeff was saying there, I mean, we've had tremendous support as we've grown our business and grown our Google Apps practice with the reseller program and with people here at Google as well as the community as a whole. I mean, the community is very open and very collaborative. I've talked with a couple of other resellers that when I've gotten into a situation, because we don't do development work, so there's a couple other resellers that specialize in it and just be able to collaborate on some of those projects together. So it's more of a mindset of, as the water rises, all ships rise with it type, as opposed to really competitive, which makes it a much more rewarding experience.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because each and every implementation of this, if done the right way, is unique, is sticky, is something that I would guess if you put this in for your clients, I kind of liken it to the old days during the .com boom. ConnectWise, we actually did a ton of custom websites, and you do a big custom website for a client, they don't pick that up and move it somewhere else, and we're charging them a decent amount to maintain that and manage that, way more than a traditional hosting fee for that. And we would always throw in up to 2 hours of additional time associated with it, because you always have that additional time. So that was a way that we created a recurring decent managed service revenue off of just the fact that we created that custom website. And I see using the Google App Stack, especially if you're starting to get to sites and everything else, is just the modern day version of that, except even further, that generates project work. That's a sticky thing. I don't think clients leave you when you do that. So I guess check it out for yourself, but the reality is Google's here telling you that if you're focused on small to mid-sized businesses and you're part of the IT nation, that Google can be and should be your cloud. Check it out for yourself.
That was fantastic. I want to thank Eric Bandy from Augusto. I want to thank Jeff Ragusa from Google Apps. And I want to thank Arnie Bellini for doing what we do best, I think, and that's always being focused on preparing the IT nation for success. And I think what we know is that the cloud business model is approaching faster than we've ever thought we expected, and we need to make sure that we understand the business model, because it's going to be a table stake here. So a couple questions in the queue. We do have a couple of minutes for questions. A question that we always get all the time is whether or not this will be recorded. It will be available later. Absolutely yes. It will be on the university probably by end of week. We need to do a couple of bookending on it, and we'll pop it up there. Also, if you are not a ConnectWise partner today and you'd like to know more about ConnectWise, you want to go to connectwise.com/Google Apps, all one word. If you'd like to know more information about the Google Apps Reseller Program, you're going to want to visit google.com/apps/reseller. That information is on the screen as well. Apps for the same price. All of the questions, there's some questions specific to Google Apps, and what you're going to want to do is really direct those questions directly to the Google Apps Reseller Program, and that again is google.com/apps/reseller. Hope you guys have enjoyed our time together today. I think they did a fantastic job out there, and we hope to see you soon on another ConnectWise TV episode, and I am out of here.